we're back, Hot Topics Live. And this is your weekly reminder that you are amazing and you deserve to be living your absolute best life possible. And it is all up to you. You just have to release those limiting thoughts and beliefs and push through that resistance, and you can live your happiest life. But we'll talk more about that later. Today, my girl Matilda is with me, and I haven't seen her forever. Matilda, what is up?
Hello, Kia. Hello, everyone. Nothing. Everything's good. I'm happy. I'm in LA. So,
Yay.
all good. And excited.
Oh, nice. So where were you? You were traveling.
Yes, I was in France for a couple of months, and then I was in Armenia for a month and a half. Now I'm back to LA for so, and my mom is here. My mom is visiting, so
Nice.
I'm excited about that. And my
I-
grandma is
your
here.
grandma. That's amazing. Tell your mom I said hi.
Yes.
Tell her I said hello, my dear. I like your mom. She's
Definitely.
very sweet. Hi, Angeline. It's good to see you. Live from how's New
New York.
York? Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, oh, hi, Sasha. Hi, sweetie. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I just found out we're going to your one of your favorite places to eat dinner. So I'm super excited about it. So we'll see you tomorrow. I'm really excited. Angeline, what are you telling me? Oh, it's great to see you. It's great to see you, honey. Thanks for tuning in. So I have a guest, and I'm going to bring him right in because he's a busy man, and we have to make sure that time is money. So we got to stay on point. All right. So my guest today is so incredible. You're going to just die when I tell you about him. Okay. Oh, the weather's been crazy over here too, Angeline. So he is everything. Okay. He does everything. He's like a coach. He's an actor. He has a podcast. He's like done all sorts of stuff around Los Angeles, and he's incredibly inspirational. And that's all I need to know about him. Okay. All of those things I like. All
We
right.
are excited. Let's bring him
Yeah. Yeah.
in.
Well, I mean, let's do it. I can't wait anymore. I have so many questions to ask him. Hi, Reggie.
Hello,
Hi,
hello, Kia,
Reggie.
Matilda. How y'all doing?
Very good.
How good. So you are in Los Angeles right now, like
Right now.
Matilda. And I know that time is money. So I want to jump right into it, Reggie. And I want to know what inspired you. You do so much, right? You coach, you talk about sports a lot. I know you love sports. And you've been in my son's favorite video game, Call of Duty. And so, I mean, and you acted in a bunch of stuff. I know that we rescheduled because
Hmm.
you got cast in something and had to dash off to
Yeah.
my favorite place, Chicago. So, oh my God, how did you get into all of this?
Well, as far as getting into just acting, is that what you're talking about, or just
Like,
life?
what it,
Because it was my
I
mom,
mean,
it was my mom, and my dad. They got me into this whole, the whole life thing. But if we're talking about just acting, I've been doing it since I was a kid. I just always wanted to be in the spotlight when I was younger. Like I wanted to be on TV, and if I wasn't on TV, I wanted to be playing football, and I wanted to play football on TV. So
ooh,
that was the only two things I ever wanted to do was play football or be on TV. And for a little bit, I wanted to play basketball, but then I just didn't grow enough. So I just decided that it was going to be football or TV. And then once I got hurt playing football, I just focused on TV and film, and that's where I've been, I've been lucky enough to have found my passion as a child. I knew what I wanted to do as a kid, and that's all I ever did.
I feel that because I had no fucking clue. All right.
Yeah, a lot of people,
My
a
whole
lot of people.
life to
Yeah.
figure it out. Right. Like I had no idea. I did a lot of stuff. Like I tried a lot
Hmm.
of things when I was younger. Because fortunately I went from West Philly to private school in Hershey. So then I had a lot more opportunities.
Hold up. You was in West Philly with Will and them, with Will and that
We're
was you
gonna
out?
get
Was you out
there.
there? All right.
We'll get there.
Okay.
But yes, as a matter of fact, Will is one of my homeboys from my
Okay, there you go.
neighborhood. So he was a
Yeah.
little bit older than me, but he went to actually the same high school as my entire family. I only didn't
Oh,
go
damn.
there because I went to private school. But yeah, we're from the same
Yeah.
area, actually. Born and raised.
Same playground.
And so
Playground chilling.
pretty much. I mean, if you're talking about high school, yeah, but
Okay.
but I actually live closer to Jazz's grandma personally.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so all of that growing up for sure. But what can you say? You can take the boy out of West Philly and take the West Philly out of the boy. But we're gonna get to that because I listened to one of your podcasts and it was actually talking about that. And if you don't know what we're talking about with Will Smith, I don't know where you've been. But under a rock, but we're talking about Will Smith and we are going to talk about the Oscars in a little bit. But right now, I just think it's incredible that you knew exactly what you wanted to do when you were so young. I mean, I tried a million things and I still had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a clue to this day. I'm just trying to make the best out of whatever I can, and I'm still looking what I'm passionate about. I'm still looking what is my ikigai.
Yeah, but hey, you're living. Every day you get a chance to live. You get a chance to find something new or do something different, right? So you got time. I mean, keep finding, keep searching.
You know, there is this. I was just mentioning about ikigai, and I want listeners to maybe hear about it if they haven't. It's a Japanese word. It means the reason you wake up every day. And they realized that in Japan, there is an area in south of Japan that people live very long. And when they researched, they realized these people have an ikigai. There's a reason that they like to wake up every day. And once you lose that, there's no reason for you to continue living. You get depressed and your body shuts down. So yeah, it's very good that you found yours. And I hope me and Yuki as well, seems like we're on the same boat, we can find our ikigai fast.
I found mine. I'm doing it.
There you go.
I'm doing it. With London Real, coaching everybody, especially with DeFi and cryptocurrency. I'm insane about it. And I get to hang out with you two amazing souls. So, and everything I do with female veterans, it took me a long time to figure it out. I thought I was going to be working. I studied for years to work at the Securities and Exchange Commission and bust financial fraud. That's what I thought I was going to be doing. But this is fun, more fun. So, yeah. So Reggie, tell me, so you were going to be playing football on TV or you were going to be on TV. How did you find that dedication to keep working towards that at such an early age?
I think it was just I don't know. I was talking to somebody about this the other day on another podcast, but not a video. It was a video podcast, actually. So I was talking about this the other day, and I feel like, when I was younger, my dad wasn't around when I was younger. He just wasn't ready to be a parent, so he ran off. He joined the military. He was in the Army, and he was gone overseas for years while I was growing up. And I think part of it was me wanting to do something, I think just, to make my dad want to be around. You know what I mean? When I was younger. And so I always wanted to be like the person, the thing, right? Playing football or whatever. When I was younger, I wasn't that good. And then I just got better by working. And it just came, for me, a lot of the stuff came naturally for football. It was just natural talent, right? And when I was in high school, I didn't really work at it as hard as I should, just because I was good, right? Acting as well. When I first started acting and I got into the game, I was good, but I wasn't taking classes. It was just my natural thing. And I thought that just being natural would get you where you want to be, but nothing works that way. You know what I mean? Everything is about work. So once I failed enough, I figured out I had to work harder and work better and work smarter. And so that's the thing that's got me through to where I've been. I played college ball. after high school, and I got there and I figured I had to work harder to be better. Did that, got injured, came to LA, started as a stand-up comic, did as much as I could in comedy until I hit a ceiling and where I didn't really want to be. And then I transitioned to acting. And then from there, just started studying, not getting cast, studying, getting cast, not getting cast, not getting cast, not getting cast. And then, you get to a point where you start to know who you are in life. And then that bleeds over into what you do as well. And so now I'm at a good spot where I know who I am. I know what I do. And this is it.
That's amazing. How do you, because I know that a lot of people have a deep core wound around fear of rejection, right? I know I had to work through mine. So how, as an actor, do you deal with so much rejection and still keep persisting?
I don't care. Like, I just don't care. Like, I really don't. Like, anything. There's no, I don't, the only thing people do is tell you no. Like, I've been that way with anything I've ever done. I'm not afraid to hear no. Just don't care. So I'll do it. Like, give me the audition. I love auditioning. Is probably my favorite part of the job because, you book the job, you're sitting in the trailer for most of the day, you're on the set, you're doing this over and over to make sure we got the right scenes and all that stuff. But for me, the fun is getting the audition, preparing it, and then having the chance to book it or not book it. It's like a rush, right? You sending this tape in and it's like, oh, are they going to like it or they're not going to like it? That's the fun. And then you book the job. That's cool. The money comes and all that stuff, but it's not as fun for me as the preparation to possibly get the job. That's more fun. It's more exciting, auditioning and possibly getting a win or getting rejected. I like that rush.
Wow. So it's all about getting prepared for it and the excitement of leading up to the audition and then doing it to see. Yeah. I mean, I think we could apply that in every aspect of life, right? Whenever you want to go for something, that job or, even a partner, just getting prepared for it is like a lot of the fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it just saying, I mean, just who cares? What's the worst thing people can do is say no. Like, I'm not worried about a no. Even like you just said, for a relationship, if you see somebody that you like, go talk to them. What are they going to do? They're going to say yes or no. That's it. And then you go about your day. And at least you tried.
I mean, I promise you'll live. Right? Like, right? You will absolutely live. You have survived 100%. Isn't that how it goes? You survived 100% of your worst days. Like, exactly. This too will pass. You'll get over that heartbreak. You'll get over not getting that job. You'll get over not getting that thing you wanted. And a lot of times I think, and tell me what you think about this, Reggie, is it's wrapped up in our ego, right? Mm-hmm. And being more fragile and sensitive within our ego of hearing that no and hearing that rejection than the actual fact that you're not getting the thing.
Yeah. No, I think it's 100%. It's 100%. I think ego and just fear. It's just fear. You know what I mean? Like, we're worried and we're worried about the wrong things most of the time. Like, I always tell my son, because at a young age, I mean, you're young, especially when you're young, you think like this. Like, you think every decision, the whole world is watching. They're making sure that they're laughing at you if you do something wrong, or people are like, people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are. They just aren't. And I mean, like, hell, you can think about yourself. You think about yourself most of the day. And then to be worried about what somebody else is thinking, they're not thinking. They're thinking about themselves too. So just do you, have fun, enjoy, like, every day, and don't worry about what anybody else is going to do, because it's futile.
Reggie, what you're saying is now makes me think how many times I haven't done what I'm supposed to do, what I think it's right for me to do, because I was afraid of a rejection or failure or what people are going to think. And I'm going to get depressed right now because I'm realizing, and you really realize the enemy is really you, yourself. There's no enemy outside. And till you have the biggest enemy, which is inside you, you don't need anyone else around. So I think your attitude is necessary. It's the necessity point for anyone to be successful in anything they do. In dating, there's a lot of no's for women and men. In finding the right job, and just finding the right crowd around you. So
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
job.
Thank you.
You look
I'm still
very
learning.
young. You
I'm
look
still
very
learning.
young and wise.
Oh, I try.
I don't know if it's the cream you're using or it's your age.
We do have a lot of men who watch. So if you want to give out some tips on how to keep it fresh, and ageless.
Well, you got to get you a good wife. Get you a good wife or a good woman, because a good woman will get you on some good facial treatments and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So my wife, we do masks every now and then, and you know what I mean. Like I got a daily facial wash I use now with I don't know. I think I don't have. There's some stuff that's not in my facial wash that I found that's not supposed to be good for you, and I have a daily moisturizer with SPF. I never used to do that. Never used to do it until I got my wife. So get you a good woman. Do that.
True story. Let me tell you what. I know when I start dating somebody, I'm like, I can't wait to tell them all of the stuff I've learned about taking care of yourself. I mean, if you date me, you're going to age backwards. Okay.
That's
what we do at my house.
Benjamin Button. There you go.
That's right. And speaking of your wife, I just want to tell everybody how we met. So I had the pleasure of hanging out with Reggie and his beautiful wife in LA, because I never go anywhere by myself, or I used to never go anywhere by myself. I always would have someone with me. And I took a birthday trip by myself to go to a piano concert of I'm a big fan of the Orville and the whole cast. And one of the members of the cast, Jay Lee, is a concert pianist. He's really amazing. And I just happened to follow him on Instagram because I like the show. And I would catch him during the pandemic practicing his piano. So I was invested for like 2 years watching him rehearse these songs. So I went to LA to see him finally put on this show. And I walked in there, and your beautiful wife talked to me. She just started talking to me, and I had a lovely conversation with her, and she invited me to join them on their date. And well, not like that, but hang out and
right.
I realized that came out weird after I said it. So I had such a nice time hanging out with them, and she was absolutely lovely. I want to just give her a shout out. You are amazing. Thank you so much for being so sweet to a total stranger. Not everybody's like that. And it made
she's Canadian. Night. She's Canadian. And so, that's what the Canadians do. They talk to strangers. It's nice to
I'm American. I talk to strangers. I'm nice to everybody.
I do too. But Canadians do it all the time. Yeah. It's like that's just what the hell they do. So
and I'm an immigrant in America, and I talk with strangers all the time.
Why not?
I love it. I love it. It makes the world a better place. And then look at that. So I'm talking to her, and she tells me that you're a coach with a podcast. And I'm like, I'm a coach with a podcast, kind of a different kind of coach. But I'm like, look what we have in common. I got to get him on my podcast because he's a coach and he inspires people. And I just want to know, how do you bring people to or encourage people to achieve as a coach?
Well, my coaching, I coach actors. So I coach actors for auditions and callbacks and tests and series regulars and things of that nature. And the way I help them is just the same way that I prepare myself for any kind of work. You know what I mean? Like, excuse me. A lot of times people think that acting is so easy, right? Because it's on TV. It looks like anybody could do this, but good actors make it look easy, right? It's like, this is hard work to be reading. You're reciting words that were written by somebody else on camera with 50 to 100 people behind the camera watching you do this thing, right? And you have to make it look like it's the first time you've ever said these words to this person who you don't know. It's the hardest thing in the world to make a written conversation look brand new and real. And it takes so much work and so much practice. A lot of people skip the practice and the work and they think that they're just supposed to do it. It's just easy. And so what I do is I help actors prepare for that. I help especially young actors figure out why they're saying what they're saying, because anybody can memorize some words and say them to somebody, but it doesn't come to life unless you have thoughts and feelings and a reason behind why you're saying it. So that's the thing that I do when I coach. I work with people on thoughts, feelings, why, where, who, all that stuff that you have to do to create something that looks real. And that's what I do. And I've been fortunate to help some people get to, great points in their career and series regulars and callbacks. And I got people that have worked with me for years because I know what I'm doing.
That's amazing. But you still have to sort of inspire them to dig deep and like really go within to produce like a performance that's amazing. Do you have certain techniques or like tips that you give them that help them sort of make the connection?
Not really. I mean, what it is it's really simple. Some people get it, some people don't. It isn't for everybody, right? It's just nothing is for everyone. So I work with people all the time and I can work with them and I can tell, they're not going to work. They're not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You just can see it's not connecting for them. And maybe it will at some point. Just right now, it's not. And there's nothing I can do to make it. Like I'm not a guru or any kind of shaman or anything like that, right? All I can do is work with what's right there. And some people connect and they're able to dig, and you can tell them, you can give them a thought and they can think about it and they can go there. And some people just aren't ready to connect that way. So it just, you got it or you don't. And maybe you won't ever have it, but maybe you will. I can't tell you. All I can do is show you the way that I know how to prepare it. And then let's see if you can match that. And if you can, you're going to work, you're going to get callbacks, all that stuff. If you can't, you're not going to work. It's just that simple.
You know what I'm thinking? Acting is about connecting yourself with the character. Yes? So
True.
I think what we can use your techniques that you're teaching these students to how to connect with their characters. We can use it in our society right now to connect with other humans. Do you have any tips?
Listen. Just listen to people. Like that's all acting is listening, then responding. Not listening to talk, listening and then responding. Listen, hear what people are talking about, see what they have to say, find out about them, and then respond. But so often everybody just talks without listening. People talk they're just talking to you, not even listening to what you're saying. They're waiting for their turn to talk, right? Just listen. And I think that would help everybody in the world if we just all listen more and talk less.
That's very good, because with these techniques, we can find more friends, more work opportunities, more network.
Oh, you would have more friends than anybody on the planet if all you did was just listen to everybody, because people would love to talk about themselves all day, and they would love to have somebody just listen to them talk about themselves. So just listen. You will get more friends by listening for sure.
It's so true. It's so true. And I love that. Before we have a couple of questions I'm going to go to in a second from the viewers, but the point you were making about you can tell who's going to do what, the same thing, even in my coaching with cryptocurrency, or when I do digital business or podcasting or whatever we're doing at the academy at the time, you can see the people who are going to put the work in. And you can see the people, it really helps you understand how people are and how they're going to perform. And as a coach, I think that makes a really good coach is being able to identify this person has it, they're going to do it, they're going to succeed. And this person probably needs more work, maybe a different approach. And this person, Probably not gonna.
That's the one right there.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You ever hear somebody go, it's not gonna go good for you. Yeah, it's not gonna go good.
For real though. Okay, so let me go to some of these questions because I want to make sure that we help everybody in the audience. So my girl Kala is here today. Hello, sweetheart. If someone wants to start an acting career, where can they start?
Right at home. Like right now, there's never been an easier way to get into like acting. You can literally on your phone, you can write your own script in your house, write a script, think about it, make a monologue, grab a monologue from a classic time period, anything, or get a friend and sit there with your phone and record it. That's acting. Put it on your Instagram. Why not? Right? If you want to get into it that way, do that. Take a class. There's plenty of places. If you're in LA, wherever, they got classes all over the place. However, I mean, you're probably not going to get the best acting class in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know what I mean? But like you can be in, if you're in LA, if you're in Chicago, if you're in a big city, and even now you could do it online, right? They've got virtual classes. So I would always say start with taking a class first to figure out if this is something you'd like to do and to watch people do what you want to do. That's the best way of learning to me is, I was in classes with some people who are, series regulars on shows, and I learned so much from just watching them and stealing from them, right? Like, and there's nothing new under the sun. So you want to get to class and watch people do what you want to do at a high level. That's the best thing to do. Start there first. Get into a class, watch people do it, see if you actually want to do this or if you even have the heart to do it, and then go from there.
Great answer. If I wanted to be an actress, which I don't, I would definitely do all those things. I think acting is hard. And my friend does improv stuff all the time. That's what he does. And I'm like, how do you do that and be funny and all of that? Like I would not have I can hardly have this conversation, let alone make up something funny and like do all of these things at the same time. I think it's incredible what you do. I just have a lot of mad respect for it. And plus everybody loves entertainment. So, it's amazing.
Now
Sasha,
I want to be an actress.
You're going to be, you should do it. I think
you're in LA. Do it. Do it.
Wow. Just for fun, and then maybe something will pop off. You never know. My girlfriend, she's a model, and she a few years ago was like, "I'm gonna go to LA and become an actress," and she did. And she was in WandaVision as an alien. Like I was like, "What?" She's like, "I think she made history." I was like, and it was like, I don't know, was it 6 years ago? Whatever. Just go do it. Is my point. Take action is what we always say at the Academy. If you want to go for something, go for it. It's those limiting beliefs that keep you stuck thinking, oh, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I can't do it. I shouldn't do it. I'm going to be rejected or whatever. Or people around you in your environment saying, oh, you think you can go be an actress all of the sudden? Yes. Why not you? Lots of people are doing it every day. So, Sasha says, what do you think about the influence of Hollywood on society? I gotta love Sasha and his question.
Well, I don't think it's just Hollywood. I think it's just media, as a whole. Media everywhere has such an influence on society. Like, Instagram. I feel like Instagram is bigger than Hollywood, right? More people are logged on to Instagram than go to see movies every year, right? So, I think just media influences society and the things that we think and the way that we look at things. And, it's just... It's good and bad to me, and this is just my own personal opinion, because I feel like for years we grew up just thinking that the news was always correct. We had no other source, right? It was, especially if, I don't know, you guys might not be as old as me. I'm an old dude, right? But when I was younger, we had the nightly news, we had a newspaper. We didn't have social media. We didn't have no DVR and like that. So if you watch the news and if you didn't catch the news, you missed it. You might find out something that was going on around the world you wouldn't find out for like a month. You know what I mean? Like weeks, right? So I think now media has such an influence on people because it's so instant and there's so many different sources and so many different ways that people can manipulate it. The way it's changed society is just that it's gotten us so less trustworthy of everything. And to me, I think that's a huge thing that's happened, and it's eroding just confidence in people.
Wow. I mean, that's really deep. I mean, I know what you're saying about Instagram is true. I mean, I've seen live concerts on Instagram with upwards of 2,000 people. That's like filling a small, like a pretty decent sized venue. You know what I mean? Like it's just the
Yeah.
impact of social media and getting information so quickly. I'm
Yeah.
like you. We didn't even have email and stuff when I was growing up. So
And
things are very different now, and I think all of that plays a part.
and Metaverse is coming soon.
Yes. And that's going to kick things up. And everything we're seeing in the DeFi space, do not get me going down that rabbit hole. But everything that we're seeing happening now, people are just unaware of. It's like when email started or the internet started or the .com boom, that if you're old enough to remember that. People don't recognize what's coming yet, but it's coming. The next 10 years is going to be interesting.
I think I should think about being an actress in Metaverse. Do you have any courses for that?
I think that's dope.
I think you're onto something there. And I told my friend, I said, listen, and I don't know if he's gonna listen to me, but I said, hey, listen, you should get some space in the metaverse and make a movie studio and start putting your films out in there. There you go, Reggie. Okay. So that's
So what I need to do is I need to learn about the metaverse because I don't really know everything that's coming. I just hear about it, and I've got to. So then maybe you need to coach me on what's coming in the metaverse. So
I'll get you guys up to speed.
Be ahead of the game,
right? I'll one of the next time I come to LA, I'll get you guys up to speed, and then you can start making some power moves because you can't let Snoop make them all. Okay.
Oh, Snoop does everything. Snoop doing kid preschool shows. He's got, I saw him on a video in like Bangladesh or something like that. He was doing like a Bangladesh music video. He's in everything. That dude, and he used to be public enemy #1. That's so crazy how the world changes. That dude was the most dangerous person in music at one point in my lifetime. And now he's like he's doing cooking shows at Martha Stewart. Like he's doing everything. It's crazy.
I love him and Martha Stewart together. They're so funny. But but seriously, he does do everything. And that's the hustle. And you can't knock the hustle. I gotta say, I mean, his NFTs, I'm getting one of his NFTs. Okay, I'm just gonna do it because they're so cool. And that's what you have to be able to, I think, change with the times and roll with all of this stuff that's coming. And Snoop is an amazing example of that. He is amazing, Angeline. Snoop is amazing. Shout out to Snoop. So speaking of all of these people and how all this awesome stuff that they're doing, I know that you started in comedy. Snoop's pretty funny. And I know that you started in comedy too. I wanted to ask you earlier, but we sort of went down a different path. What was that like for you? I know I always hear that being in comedy is one of the hardest things you can do in entertainment. And how was that for you? What made you decide to go down that road?
Comedy was always like something I just loved, like stand-up comedy when I was a kid. I always wanted to be like Richard Pryor. Like, I used to sneak and watch. There was a show that I used to watch all the time. Robert Townsend, great, a historic Black director who doesn't get enough credit in Hollywood. He had this movie I saw when I was a kid. It came out in 1987. It's called Hollywood Shuffle. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life. As a kid, I was 8 years old watching this movie, busting up, dying. And it was all these dudes who I remember thinking were the funniest people in the world. And then all of a sudden, I started seeing on HBO late at night there was a show called Robert Townsend Partners in Crime. So I started watching this, and it was the same dude who made that movie and all the people who were in that movie, but these guys were stand-ups and they're doing sketch comedy. So Robert Townsend basically had the Chappelle show before the Chappelle show. The Chappelle show is the Robert Townsend show on steroids. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Key and Peele is Robert Townsend on steroids. And he had sketches, he had like comics doing stand-up, so funny. I was watching this and I wanted to be those guys. If I was gonna be on TV, I wanted to do what they were doing too. And so I just grew up trying to be the funny guy. Like I'd be in school and I wasn't just always trying to be the class clown. I was trying to like come up with jokes and things that people would really laugh at, things that would make people laugh. And so I would try stuff out. I would try out material in school and see if it got a laugh. And if it got a laugh, I'd remember that. And then I'd try it somewhere else. And so I was just always practicing and thinking about it. And then once I got old enough, I was like, all right. And I was done with football. I was like, all right, let me just try my hand at this comedy thing. And again, it all came down to not being afraid. So I wasn't afraid to go out and try to be funny. If people didn't like it, they didn't like it. I'll just try something else, right? But that's what it was for me. It was just not being afraid to try, giving it a chance. It worked for a while. It was pretty funny. I did some shows, got to be around some really cool people and meet some really funny people and be on some shows with some really great comics. And I used it to my advantage. I mean, I used it just to find a way to get into the entertainment industry more. And from there, I got my agents. My first agents were from doing stand-up comedy.
Wow. That's incredible. Sasha has a question for you. We love Sasha's questions. This is about your own experience. What do you think about actors? What is the psychological profile? That's loaded. Okay, Sasha, I don't know if we have time for that today. What is the psychological profile of actors? That's a big question, honey. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't answer for all actors. I can just answer for myself. Like I said earlier, I just always wanted to be the person that people were looking at. Like I wanted to be in control of the room. When I played football, I was a quarterback. I wanted to be the guy in control of the game. Like that's always it. And I'm competitive. So I don't know. I'm super competitive. I want to win. I wanted to win at football. I want to win the role. Me and my friends show up to the same audition. Like I say, good luck, but more luck to me than you. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. Like I'm dead honest. And people will laugh because they say that whenever they see me, they know I'm gonna be honest with them. Hey, good luck, man, but just hope I get it before you. Like that's just what it is. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest. I want to win, and I mean, I guess that's my psychological profile. I want to win. I'm passionate. I can't speak for everybody else, but that's just me.
I feel that. I would think that would be. You could say that is a characteristic of most people who go into acting is wanting to win the role and wanting to be the center of attention. I think that's a lot of people. I think when I was younger, I probably I did theater and stuff like that in high school. And I loved it. I loved, performing. For me, it's the performance. So I have just as much fun at karaoke than I did on stage. Like for me, I just like acting a fool. Okay. That's why I did wrestling. That's why I did all of those things, because it's about performing for me and being entertaining. But as I got older, I sort of realized I don't need to be the center of attention. In fact, I would like for other people to shine, which is why I do a podcast. And I'm just curious. I like to ask questions, so and learn about people. So so I vibe with the whole listening thing that you were talking about as well. I just think probably that's part of it, Sasha, like wanting to entertain people and be the center of attention and win.
Yeah.
Because if you win in Hollywood, you could be winning very successfully, like at life, well, not always, because you could be a very successful person and then your whole personal life is falling apart, as we've seen so many times. But I think there's a push there to want to succeed, and I think you have to coach yourself through all of the trials and tribulations that can come when you're working so hard towards a career. Do you have any ways that you keep yourself going and push yourself, sort of coach yourself through to your success that you've had?
I don't think there's any particular thing that I I do to keep myself going. It's just like we talked about earlier, just being okay with being rejected. Like, don't let it get you, you can't let it change the way you feel about what you're doing, right? If you really feel like this is what you want to do, or whatever you want to do, and anything you're doing, if you really feel like this is what you want to do and what you're going to do, just keep doing it. Keep doing it, and keep trying to get better at it. And that's the only thing I do, is keep working, keep trying to get better, and keep understanding that there is no, it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, nothing happens overnight. You have to put in the work, and sometimes it takes time. And especially for actors, I tell actors, like, whatever your goal is, be okay with it taking forever. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with what you're going after not happening until you're 60, 70, 80? If you're not okay with that, go do something else. That's it. Like, because what you want and what you're trying to go for in anything you're doing might not happen when you want it to happen. So are you okay with waiting and continuing to wait for it to happen? If you're not okay with it, go do something else.
Oh, that's good advice. This is such good advice. So, okay. Now I have another question for you. All right. So, have you always had a really good support system around you, or have you had to sort of quiet the outside noise, as Jay-Z says, in order to, reach your success?
No, I've always had great support. My mom, my dad, my dad came back around when I was in high school, when I went to go live with him when I was in high school. But my mom, from when I was a kid, always supported. I mean, she took me to my first theater, audition to get into a play. You know what I mean? She drove me there to do that. And, she took me to football practices all the time and did all that stuff. And then when I got older, when I was not making money, my dad was helping me out. My mom would help me out. They were just, and never was there a, you should do something else. I never heard that once from like my parents.
Amazing.
Never. Like, you should do something else or try something else. Never, ever, ever. Like, so I'm fortunate with that. Like, I was on a podcast the other day and somebody got mad at me because I told them that, yeah, well, this lady got mad at me because I said that, because the last thing I worked on, I played a man who had to go seek mental therapy because it was a black man. It's a movie about black men and mental health and reaching out for therapy, because in our community, we don't, not that everybody doesn't do it, but for the most part, it's kind of a taboo subject to go talk about your problems with somebody else instead of just dealing with it on your own, which is a big issue.
It's a
stigma. A lot of men, but it's a stigma, especially in the black community. We just we'll get over it. We'll work on it ourselves, and and I was talking about being an actor, and they were asking, how was it for you to play this character? Was it really close to you? I said, no. Like, I'm fortunate enough to have grown up my entire life, and I've never been through any real trauma. Just haven't. Right.
Wow. And that's incredible. That's amazing.
And I haven't been through it. And this lady was getting angry. Like, what do you mean you haven't been through trauma? You're a black man in America. I'm like, yeah, I understand. But not every black man has had the same situation as every black man around the world or in other parts of the country. I'm fortunate to have, my parents have never nothing. Like, it's been amazing. My life has been absolutely amazing. Of course, I would have loved to made the NFL. So is that trauma because I didn't make the NFL? No. You know what I mean? It's like, I found something else to do. But yeah, my support is my family, my sister, my brother. Like, they've all been championing me all the way along. My wife always championing me all along, right? So I've just been fortunate to have people always in my corner, push me and be there and be down and understand, like, this is my dream and I'm living my dream. And I think once you're actually living your dream, most people support that, right? Because not everybody, especially if they don't get to live theirs, they want to see somebody else actually go for their dream. You know what I mean? So my parents have always supported my dream.
Well, that's beautiful.
Has it been difficult to find partners, not for you per se, but as an actor? What is the difficult part? Is it like you need to find actresses, for example, so they can understand your line of work? Or
no, I don't think. I mean, I've never had a problem finding a partner, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know if it has to be. I've never really dated actresses. Never. Yeah, it's always been people who weren't in the entertainment industry. Um, no, I think it's just about finding somebody who is willing to adapt or be cool with what you're doing, you know, and whether they be in the entertainment industry or out of it. Like it's
I
just
think I'll be jealous. Yeah. It's like Sasha starts doing a movie with someone, kissing someone, I'll be like, excuse me, come out of the screen. You have a problem here. Or I don't know. Once I'm a metaverse actress, maybe I will
maybe.
think that I'm
It's
not
gonna
supposed
change.
to.
You'll be fine. I think that's what he meant by adapting. Like they have to understand, you know. But piggybacking on that question about dating, right? Do you actually have you had concerns about women before? Obviously, your amazing wife about your success and like what their true intentions were with wanting to pursue you.
No, not for the most part. Because I mean, as much as I've worked, I'm still not rich. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't have that problem where people are like, ooh, let me get all his money because I ain't got a lot of money. So I mean, I got enough to take care of what I got. You know what I'm saying? So nobody's coming.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not rich to that level where people are coming to try to hook up with me for my money. You know what I mean? Now people can see that, you know, coming down the line, he's really good. He might do this, he might do that. Somebody might want to come along for that type of deal. But no, I've never had anybody that I felt like I need to like, oh, they only are here because I'm an actor or, you know, I'm just on this TV show or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't really experienced that.
That's good. Yeah, because you hear all the horror stories, so I was curious.
Yeah.
I want to talk about you had what is it, Jackson McQueen on your
Yes.
podcast, and you guys were talking about all sorts of cool stuff, but you talked about the whole slap heard around the world, as I call it. And I thought it was so interesting. You guys are really kind of funny about it, but you had some really good points. Like one of the things that stuck out to me was about the fact that it was a slap. So if you haven't seen the Oscars and you missed Will Smith, he slapped Chris Rock because he was protecting his wife over a joke about G.I. Jane, which is a movie I love. And I thought Demi Moore was beautiful and I didn't get it. But that's just me. Okay. That's just me. So he slapped the man on TV in front of millions of people, and everyone has an opinion, and I'd like to know yours.
My opinion is Will Smith just lost his damn mind for a little bit, right? He lost his mind, and I think he's, you know, I don't want to play psychologist because I don't know the man. All I can do is just know what I saw and what I've seen and what I've heard, and it just looks like, you know, he's going through a lot of things, but he's got to be going through so much to have walked up on that stage at the Oscars and assaulted somebody. Like that is seriously out of this world. You know what I mean? Like I mean, you got to handle that better. And only somebody who is just mentally not in a good place would go that route. I mean, you could watch Will Smith's Instagram all day and you think he's the most positive person in the world. That person does not walk up on an Oscar stage and slap somebody, right? No. It's just going through a lot, I would imagine. And hell, I found out that the dude was, you know, has done ayahuasca like 15 times or something like that. And I don't know if you know ayahuasca. Yo, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? and you know what I mean? And it's not a, you know what I mean? It's from I have people, I know friends who've done it and people who run the camps. And, you know, I had talked about, me and my wife had talked about trying to do it once before. And the people who were running, they were like, don't do it just because you think it's like a cool thing to try. No, This is for healing. It's for healing and it's for trauma. You know what I mean? Like people who've been through things, people who generally, you know, need to change the way they feel about themselves or the situations they're in. And so you hear about somebody doing it 15 damn times. They got some things that they're trying to work out, you know, and that's how I feel about this situation. Like, you know, it just seems like it's unfortunate that it had to happen to him that way. And you know, I've never been a big Will Smith fan per se. I like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but all the other stuff, not a big fan. But I hope that things get better for him. And it's just a sad thing that it had to happen on the Oscar stage.
I mean, I'm not worried about Will Smith. He's just one human being. I'm just worried about American society, the people who were sitting in Oscar, and when he was talking, they stand up and gave him a stand.
Yeah.
For me, it was shocking how
Yeah.
people can be manipulated by him just saying, "Oh, I was defending my wife, and I'm defending Black women," and people are clapping and laughing and enjoying his conversation. How is this possible? A human being disrespected another human being, and we're all cool about it. Where is our morals?
Yeah.
I was in shock. Okay, because Will is, he's beloved where I come from. All right. For the most part. He's been largely heckled for a while these days. And I can imagine how that could build up. Right.
Yeah.
And I there's a lot of opinions, a lot of things I've seen on social media. Like now we're telling people how to defend their wife and what's appropriate. But it's just my opinion is that if you got issues, settle it and not on camera. I know you can get overwhelmed with emotion and whatnot. Settle it not on camera. And number one, I'm going to agree with you guys on the podcast. If you guys haven't heard it, then we're going to talk about how you can hear this podcast in just a minute. It's called You're Probably Right. But I really felt like Chris should have sued because consequences are necessary. Okay. I understand not pressing charges and all of that. Not hitting him back was like really wise. He handled it like total. Sasha, I know you said you're asking if this was staged, and I put this question up because I thought it was when I first saw it. I'm like, they are going very far on the Oscars for ratings this year. I'm like, this is like too far. My friend I was watching it with was like, no, that was not. And we watched it like 3 times before. It was Lupita's face in the background that really like made me realize what was going on, because I was like, oh wait, look at her, like that's for real. It took me a minute. So no, Sasha, I don't think it was staged. A lot of people are thinking Hollywood is just an instrument to influence the society. It has always been used to influence society. I don't think it's just that. But look back at the days in the 30s when everybody was smoking a cigarette. It was just product placement, which we still see to this day. We know that if you want, in my opinion, and you may think differently, Reggie, but in my opinion, if you want to shape people's opinions these days, they don't read books. So you have to, if you want to inform people and you're not going to use media per se, like news, then the best way to do it is through entertainment, through movies and TV shows. And you can use that for good or bad, but it's there. What do you think about that, Reggie?
No, I agree with you 100%. I definitely don't think that it was staged. I thought it was when I saw it. And that's probably also kind of what you were saying when you saw people stand up and applaud him. I would imagine half of the audience felt the same way. Like, was this just a joke? Was it, you know what I mean? Because Chris and Will Smith produced shows together. They've done work together. They know each other. And Will Smith is a funny guy, right? And Chris Rock is a super funny guy. So I can imagine some people sitting there thinking, oh, that was a joke, right? And they're clapping for Will Smith when he gets his Oscar and standing up for him. But after, you think back and then you see Chris's reaction and really take it in, especially in a home audience, then you're like, oh, wow, no, that was real. And now it's a lot. But yeah, I think that Hollywood, and not just Hollywood, but like I said earlier, media influences everything, influences people in ways we don't even know. Like, it's my son, like, they get their information from Instagram. They get their thoughts and what they're thinking and what they're going to do next from Instagram and TikTok. And that's just it. And the podcast is I'm probably right.
Oh, I'm probably right.
I'm probably right.
Hold on. Let me hook that up. But while I'm doing that, Right on. Let me hook that up for you really quick because we don't want people looking for the wrong shit, right?
Yeah.
So we gotta get that right. So I was gonna say this, Matilda. I'm thinking that it's probably cognitive dissonance why people applaud it. It was a very odd, like when you're sort of in shock, you sort of go through your body just sort of does things sometimes, and people probably didn't know which way to go. They were probably thinking like that was bad, but also Will Smith deserves this Oscar. So and he, you know, he's
and he killed it. He was amazing
yeah.
Ingrid. He was so good. He deserves the Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, it's a hard, it's like between a rock and a hard place of, do I cheer because this man deserves it, or I just saw something terrible happen and I just witnessed a crime scene. Like, you know, it's like cognitive dissonance is why most people probably sort of did what they felt like they were supposed to do because, you know, it was a really big moment for him. And I'm just really super sad. I've always been a fan of his. And I'm really, really super sad that this happened and sort of it's going to live in infamy forever. And I'm really sad that it was a big moment for Will and it became about his wife. Right. So it just, you know, it makes me really sad. But I gotta say, Reggie, I have one more question for you if you have time. We have about 4 minutes before we need to wrap. And I just want, my sons are such, you're going to listen and subscribe. Thank you, Angeline. Remember, it's Angeline. Probably right, and he probably is right. So all about sports, if you like that, check it out. So my kids love Call of Duty. It's their favorite game, all of them. We have them all. Okay, so yeah, what is it like doing that kind of work, being in video games?
It's so cool. It was like I grew up playing video games myself, right? And I always wanted to be in a video game. Like that's literally something I thought about when I was a kid. I used to play Mike Tyson's Punch Out and wish I was a dude knocking out Mike Tyson. I used to play Super Mario and wish I was a dude going down the tunnels and jumping on the puka shells and the ducks and all that stuff, right? Like I grew up wanting to be in a video game my entire life because we used to play them every day and I thought it would be so cool to be one of the characters. And I finally, like, it was just insane because you don't know that I had an audition for Call of Duty. It was just a regular, I got sides and there was this character and they said it was going to be like, it's like a secret thing. So I went to the studio in Marina Del Rey and I go and I do this audition. It's like, I'm supposed to be this soldier. I'm transporting this hostage across the water and I got to have this dialogue with them and this and that. And then, you know, I get there to the studio and I'm looking at all these photos. It's like this big studio and I'm looking at all these photos and I see Call of Duty on these pictures, but I don't think that it's Call of Duty. I don't know. I did never put two and two together. I see some photos on the wall and then I go inside, I do my thing, and then I'm running around with a gun and all this stuff. And you do it. You come back. They called me back. Like they were like, "Hey, we'd like to have him come back for a callback next week." And I go back. I do it again. This time they have me run around with a gun and jump over these things and do, like flips and all this stuff. And I leave out of there sweating to death. And I go home. And a month later, I get a call from my agent. They're like, "Hey, that video game, it was a video game that you're reading for. They want you in it." And I was like, "Oh, cool. What is it?" They're like, "You don't know?" I was like, "No." They're like, "It's Call of Duty." I was like, "Oh my God, this is crazy." And so like the number one video game in the world, like I get to be in it. And not only was it was like, it's my face, it's my body that they use and my voice. It's insane. And it was so fun to work on because, you get to be on the stage and you got the suit on with all the lights and the helmet and the lights all in your face. And, it's like you're shooting a movie. You just are doing it on a smaller stage and they create the world for you digitally. And you're working with great actors and great directors and producers. And it's just fun. It's just like every day you went to work, there was nothing but fun. And I love video games. It's phenomenal. And it was so cool to do that. And now that I know your kids, you send me your address, I'll send them some pictures and I'll send them some Call of Duty stuff too.
they're gonna die. First of all, don't judge
Yeah.
me. My 6-year-old freaked out.
It's playing Call of Duty.
He's actually a prodigy. But I'm just both of them are. My 15-year-old too. They
Yeah.
just love it. Obviously, that's why the 6-year-old does it, because the older one is always doing it.
Yeah,
So something they can do together, right? And not be fighting. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. They were so excited when I told them and I met you and who your character was, and they just were like, oh my God, you're lying.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting. They'll be so excited. I appreciate that so much. I just want to tell you, thank you so much for being a guest on Hot Topics Live. It has been such a pleasure to spend some time with you and get to know you better and hear all about, how impressive you are and the way you roll. So I appreciate your time so much. Thank you so much. Matilda, what do you think?
Yeah, it was awesome. And you know what I loved about you? It's your confidence and how confident you are about your life and what you do in life. So amazing. I think what the listeners and me personally can learn from you is just to do it, to do whatever you want in life, and to have the faith in you that you will do a great job. And if you don't, it's okay. You'll try again.
It's okay. Try again or do something else. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Kia. Thank you, Matilda. Appreciate you guys having me on. It was great talking with you. The hour went by so fast. It was just,
I told you.
When you said an hour, I was like, damn, an hour long? That was going to be a long time. It went really fast. So it was great talking with you guys. Thank you so much. And send me, Kia, send me your info. Send me a DM with your info and I'll mail you guys out some stuff.
Oh, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I know you have to run, so I'm going to put you in the green room. And right. I will catch up with you later for a proper goodbye and a thank you and all of that stuff and to give you my information. But please say hello to your beautiful wife for me. Send her my love. And hopefully I'll be able to catch up with you guys in person sometime soon.
All right, cool deal. See you later.
Bye for now, honey. Have a great rest of your day. He was fantastic, huh?
Yeah. I love his voice, his demeanor. I mean, he's lovely.
Yeah. See what happens when you just go on an adventure on your own and you just meet all these people. And now my kids get Call of Duty swag. Do you know how they're going to be dying? Do you know how they're going to be dying? They're going to freak out. So I appreciate that. He is sensational. Such a nice guy. Such a good person. I mean, he just let his wife invite a random stranger on to hang out with them for the rest of the night. But we had a really nice time, obviously. And he dropped so much knowledge on this episode. I hope everyone took a lot of value from it and will use that information for you to live your best life and to overcome those limited beliefs and barriers that we put on front of ourselves to keep us from feeling fulfilled and happy and feeling like we're doing what we want to be doing in life so we can just feel better, right?
Exactly. And to realize we're our own enemies. So stop that. No enemies.
Yeah, that's right. And it's okay if you don't know what you want to do yet. Some people are lucky. He's lucky. I always say that if you know what you want to do when you're small, that's so lucky because you can dedicate your whole life towards doing that, but if you don't know, it's okay. Keep trying stuff. And this is actually what I teach my kids. People used to shade me all the time for letting my kids try something and then taking them out of it and try something else and then taking them out of it. And they'd say, make them stick to it. Make them stick to it. But what I'm going to make them be miserable and hate it. I say is finish the season or finish this amount of time. And then you can try something new. And then when I see that they're passionate about something, they stick with it because they want to, not because I'm forcing them.
Exactly.
And if my mom had been like that, I would know how to play the piano right now. Okay. So just saying. But that was a really great show and I hope everybody really enjoyed it. It has been so awesome to see you again, Matilda. I have missed you so much. And
I'm excited about tomorrow.
Yes, I am so excited to be back in California and hanging out with you again and just, getting to hang out with Sasha and meet him in person finally and having an amazing dinner. So it's going to be an exciting time. I'm so happy to be back at Hot Topics Live, though. It's been a few weeks. I've missed everybody. Thank you for so much for watching. As always, listen to Matilda's podcast and check out Matilda on Instagram, right? And watch Podcasters Unleashed. Are you guys back?
We're going to be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks more, and then Podcasters Unleashed is back. And if you like a good debate, you've got to watch that. When are you guys on? Monday still?
Yes, Monday. I think it's 26. I'm going to check the date, but I forgot the date. 25th.
Nice. So set your notifications for Podcasters Unleashed so you know when they come live, so you can check out their show on Facebook and YouTube. They're also on YouTube if you prefer to watch on YouTube, as is Hot Topics Live #podcast. Put that in the search and you'll find this show on YouTube if you prefer to watch it there. I'm so thankful for everybody watching. I've missed you guys. So happy to be back. I have another great guest for next week. Will you be back with me next week, Matilda?
Sure.
Or are you traveling around?
I'm in LA now. So
yay! Yay! So Matilda and I will be back next week. I have another amazing guest. Her name is Lena, and she is just going to blow you away. I'm not going to give it away. You have to tune in if you want to see what's happening. I've been waiting for her to come to the show for a while. And from then on, it's off to the races. I've got guests each week that are sensational until I can't even think of when, until I need to take another break. But thanks for coming back, you guys. As always, set your notifications so you know when we come live. Sometimes I pop on, but usually it's Thursdays at this time. And I really appreciate you for watching. I almost forgot. I have new pictures up on my Instagram. I did a photo shoot the last time I was in Los Angeles. Yeah. And if you want to see my pictures, you have to follow me on Instagram at Creativity. That's the first one there. If you want to follow this podcast, go to Hot Topics, the podcast. I'm starting to put content up. I'm a little slow. Bear with me. It's coming. And if you or someone you know or is a female veteran, or you just want to know what female veterans go through and experience, follow the Female Veterans Podcast. And you can listen to that anywhere you listen to podcasts also. So thank you for watching. Oh, thank you, Angeline. It was really fun. Reggie made it amazing. And as he was one of my guests that I didn't meet through London Real. How about that? So he'll send me Call of Duty stuff and I'll teach him about the Metaverse. He kind of was in the Metaverse though, right? When he did the video game, sort of the same concept, right?
You can transition there very easily.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I should get him for my Metaverse acting classes.
In your Metaverse film, he can be in it.
Yes.
You know, he coaches acting. If you're going to be an actress,
I should get some classes from him.
Yeah, you should coach with Reggie. See how connections are made? It's a beautiful thing. Connect with people, spread love. And also, don't forget you're amazing and you deserve to be living your best possible life. And if you're not, it's not too late to change it. You just got to look inside yourself and make that choice to change. And you can do it. You can live the life of your dreams, but you got to be willing to take action. Okay. And you got to quiet that noise. Not all of us are so lucky. Some of us have people that tell us we can't make it. We can't do it. We shouldn't try that. And if that's you, don't listen. Quiet that noise. Stay focused on what you want and go for it. And if it doesn't happen for you, pick something else and go for that. And keep going until something works and you're living your best life. That's the best advice I could give you. If you need a reminder, we'll be back next week. Right, Matilda?
Yes.
All right. That's a wrap.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.